Alright, welcome back to the channel. Let's check out what's going on with Bitcoin. So to start off with, let's talk about the Fear and Greed Index. Bitcoin is now sitting at the 22 on the Fear and Greed Index, sitting in extreme fear. It's been 22 for the past day or so. We actually topped out in 20 a couple of days ago before switching back over to 22. Even though we dumped further, we increased up in the Fear and Greed Index. So very, very strange. Nonetheless, we're sitting in extreme fear. And before we do jump into the Bitcoin analysis, which is only going to take a second because we're really not doing too much, we're really just chopping to the side, there are two things that I wanted to run through in this video. Number one, let's talk about the Federal Reserve meeting, and then we'll talk about the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. So as of the time of recording this, it's just gone past midnight, and it is the 2nd of May. There is a Federal Reserve meeting between the 3rd and the 4th of May. I believe that confidence has exited the market before we enter this Federal Reserve meeting. You can see it when you look at the total crypto market cap, because you can see that we've fallen out of this ascending channel. If we look at total 2, this is just the altcoin market cap, so it's the altcoin market cap or the total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin. And then even if we just look at Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin has broken out of this super bullish ascending channel formation, and we've come back down to these lows once again, you know, forming another lower trend line. So depending on how you want to look at this, we could be in a big channel right now. But the point of the matter is, confidence, in my opinion, has exited the market while we're waiting for this Federal Reserve meeting. It will be done by the 3rd or the 4th. And you know, looking at your charts, sorry, I have to switch this back over to Bitcoin, but if we look at Bitcoin right now and we look at our oscillators, they're completely oversold. You know, your daily recently came down to 10. If you come over to the weekly, we recently bottomed at 18. We are so undervalued for Bitcoin right now. The second thing I wanted to talk about, so bear in mind, I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines for trading until the Federal Reserve meeting is done between the 3rd and the 4th. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. Now, we've looked at this before. We microdosed this in one of my microdose videos. However, we have moved down a level, so we do have an update on this. You can see we moved down to your lowest Fibonacci band on this Bitcoin logarithmic growth curve. You can see the Fib 0902 deviation is coming in at 37,400. If we come over to the Bitcoin price, come down to the lower time frames, where did we move down to today? 37,400. We have literally touched, and now we're chilling just above the lowest Fibonacci band that you have on the chart. Now, historically, you can move down one band lower, and once you do come one band lower, you come into the low dev, which in mathematical terms simply means one deviation oversold from the average price, and then on the top you've got one deviation overbought. So if we were to return to one deviation overbought at this moment in time, you could see 172,000 Bitcoin. That would be nice. I don't think we're going to do that anytime soon. However, we are coming into the bottom of this logarithmic growth curve spectrum, and if we look, you can see every time we come down to the bottom of this logarithmic growth curve, it is always historically a bottom on your one deviation oversold, apart from this one time when we very momentarily dipped between March and May. But bear in mind, it was mid-March that we dipped below, and by the beginning of May we were already out of there. So it was a month and a half that we spent below these logarithmic growth curves on the low deviation scale of things. So every other time you can see we've perfectly bottomed on one deviation oversold. If we come down to here, perfect bottom on one deviation oversold. If we look at what's going on here, perfect bottom at one deviation oversold, perfect bottom at one deviation oversold. And then once we came to backtest it, we had a moderately perfect retest of the one deviation oversold. So we could be coming back down to that region, 33,000. I did just want to highlight your oscillators are completely oversold on the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. We have moved down a level, and we also have the Federal Reserve meeting in the next couple of days. So there's a lot of things to look for over the next couple of days. I think we are approaching the absolute pinnacle of extreme fear in the crypto markets right now. I think now is probably one of the best times to DCA Bitcoin, but I am going to be personally waiting until the end of the Fed meeting. Hopefully confidence returns in the markets at that period in time. If not, then I guess we'll just have to sit on the sidelines and see what's going on. But yeah, like I said, daily time frame, nothing's really changed. We talked about this in yesterday's video. We said, you know, we'd probably be coming down to this trend line, having a bounce and getting chopped up before this Fed meeting. And coming over to your 4-hourly time frames, you can see we've got a nice green, red, green formation right now, but we are running into resistance at the 4-hourly EMAs. Honestly, I think there is only macro signals to update you on today, like the logarithmic growth curves and then potentially the fear and greed. But like I said, there's not a lot going on today. I don't think you should expect too much to be happening over the next couple of days until the Fed meeting's done. That's all I've got for you for Bitcoin today. Hopefully you enjoyed the update on microdosing the Bitcoin logarithmic growth curves. That's all I've got for you today. Cowboy out, no financial advice, and as always, peace.